You're listening to Funny Peculiar with Jeff Downs.
Welcome to Funny Peculiar Podcast, and it's episode 6 this week, and I'm talking to the wonderful Blaq Ivory, a drag queen from Manchester's Gay Village, where you can find her most of the time, where she's DJing or hostessing or comedy, performing, and wonderful costumes. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast. Keep sharing, keep downloading, and keep it funny peculiar. But without further ado, let's get on with the interview and welcome Blaq Ivory. So, welcome to another episode of Funny Peculiar with me, Jeff Downs, and I'm here with the wonderful Blaq Ivory, drag queen from Manchester Gay Village. And
hi.
Hello. And we're in this very ghost bar, this sort of very ghostly bar at the moment. We're upstairs. I've managed to, darting around all the places, I found a quietest bar.
The quietest bars. You can't find a quiet bar nowadays.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah. So we've managed to. So thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
And I said, I've seen you around Canal Street. You look absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
and I've been speaking to other drag queens and in the whole performance world. And basically, when did you start the whole drag journey? When did it start for you?
I was actually a late bloomer. I think I was 21 when I started, which is very late in the drag scene, isn't it? Most people come out the womb performing, don't they? No, but I think I was 21, and and I did it for the first time in this little gay bar in Rochdale,
Right.
for a charity event. And God, I thought I looked good, but looking back at it, I look like a hot mess. So yeah, that's how it started.
Is that common as well when you started? Who was your mentor? Who was your idol? Who was your?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't really know much about drag. I just got asked to do it for a charity event. Like, I was so backwards. I didn't know people like RuPaul, Lily Savage, Dame Edna were all men. I just watched them on TV. My parents never explained that these are men in dresses. So I just always presumed.
Who are these women with deep voices?
Yeah. Until I got into Manchester, and the first person I ever saw in drag was Roxy Hart. The New. She back then she used to work in the New Union, but now she works in New York. Yeah. And that was my first experience of a man in a dress, because before that I just presumed that they were all women.
And so it was. So you decided it was like, that's for me. I want to give it a go.
No, I didn't decide that when I saw her. I just knew she was fabulous, and I knew I was mesmerised by her. But when I first got into drag, I did it for this charity event, and then I hated it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated it. I felt really uncomfortable. I couldn't walk in my heels. The wig was coming on my face, and I was just like, it was just awful. And I was working behind the bar, so I hated it. But the second time I did it was when I moved into Manchester, and then that's when I thought, I could make a living out of this.
And you've been, how long now have you been in the scene?
15 years,
Wow.
yeah.
And what was it like, say, 15 years ago, back in Canal Street? Because it's slowly getting more and more popular, Canal Street.
Yeah.
But what was it like back then?
Back then, I didn't fit in at all, because about 15 years ago, drag was all about sequin, feathers, big hair, big eyelashes, big makeup, and I was just more of the tranny side of it. Yeah. So I look more like what they call nowadays fishy.
I've not heard of that term.
Oh, have you never?
No, fishy.
Fishy, they call it fishy. So what the kids are calling it. I'm down with the kids and the lingo and all that. So I just look a bit more like a girl, and then the drag community would accept me because there was a theory. You are either a drag queen or you're a tranny, and if you're a tranny, then you can't be a drag queen. Yeah. So I didn't quite fit in, but luckily times have changed, and I've become more and more popular with my look and everything. So
and back then, so you were saying it was difficult to get accepted. Was that because, I suppose, back then, and drag up to a point was that very sort of big guy or big personality, sequins and feathers, as you say, that what you would see on television, Lily Savage, but it's kind of changed now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's totally changed now. And I think back then as well, the drag community used to look down upon the tranny community, if you like. Maybe I'm being a bit too, like, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but I felt, from my personal opinion, I felt because I look more like a tranny, they look down upon me. But nowadays it's cool to look like a tranny and look like a girl and stuff like that.
Yes, so, there is now this gender fluid thing. There is, and I think there. So it was, and again we were talking earlier. RuPaul's had quite an effect on, and do you find that's impacted on your scene?
Yes, definitely. Like look-wise, it's a massive blessing. For me, because now I fit into the popular genre of drag, but when it comes to drag understanding, I think it's harder. I don't think the young gays understand what we're about as much because of the perception they've got from RuPaul. I think they forget that drag queens are here for comedy and it's supposed to be a laugh and all that sort of thing. But I think that's the only thing that the young ones are not getting. If you like, that drag is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be comedy. It's supposed to be outrageous.
It is because
with the sense of humour. Yeah,
it's taken very seriously now, especially with the drag race, isn't it? I think it's in season 10 now, isn't it? So, and it's fiercely competitive.
It's so competitive, and it's just so serious, and it's all about the look. Whereas really, drag is about entertainment. Like your look is second. Your entertainment is first.
And you as your character, Blaq Ivory, are you always, is it funny first? Are you trying to...
Yeah, definitely. Once again, people always, they might think that I go from a look quite a lot, which I do. I like to have my hair on point and I like to have my costume on point, but as far as my character is concerned, it's entertainment first, whether it's I'm DJing or whether it's I'm on the stage or whether I'm doing stand-up or whether I'm doing a show. It's always entertainment first, and comedy is like number one for me.
And how did she evolve, your character, that when you started? Was it through singing, or you covered songs, you did jokes, or how did...
No, I think so first of all, I started as a door whore. Have you heard that term before? Door whore. Just in case you don't know what a door whore is. When it's the kids that stand on the door and try and get you to come in.
So I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Right, okay.
I'm sure there's a professional word for it. But we used to call it door whore back in the days. And that's how you build up your... confidence, if you like, talking to people and stuff like that. So that's how I did it. I think I did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then I got onto the stage and I started just lip syncing, and then from lip syncing I tried to make it more comedy. So now all my shows has got that comedy element. So if I do a Whitney Houston track, there's always something that takes the piss out of her or the song, or something like that.
That's quite a big thing for the gay community. I was watching some Drag Idol contestants, and it seems to be that there's that sending up the gay icon songs.
Yes, of course.
If that's what you need to, because I think perhaps traditional drag from years ago, they wouldn't have done that. It was just you belt out a Shirley Bassey number, isn't it? So it has changed. So that's been. So you obviously living in Manchester, but your heritage is from, we were talking earlier, Bangladesh.
My parents are from Bangladesh, so I'm British Asian. If you want to label me with something. So
and as you were saying, there was no. So any sort of, is there a sort of culture of dressing up over in, because in India they have this there is a sort of third sex, I think it's termed, and you have like transvestite over there. Is that similar to Bangladesh?
India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, it's all kind of the same thing, because we were one once upon a time. We just gradually separated. I reckon there is. To be honest with you, I'm not very informed in that sort of stuff, because I was born and bred in Rochdale, and I went once to Bangladesh, but I was only 12. So and my parents don't really talk about that side of Bangladesh.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I've never asked them, to be honest with you. So there most definitely is. It'll probably be underground kind of a thing, like most places are.
Is it a fairly religious country? Is that
but I don't think we're classed as a Muslim country, but because we've got lots of Indians and we've got Muslims there as well.
Okay.
So officially we're not a Muslim country, but there is a lot of Muslims there.
There is.
Yeah.
So, and you obviously you live in Manchester now, and it's a very rainy day. We're chatting.
Surprise!
Surprise!
It's raining in Manchester.
What's going? And so and performing, and now I've seen as well on your Facebook feed the amount of costumes. That I think I have 2 wardrobes or something, but you've got a container, a shipping container. I think
I've got a shipping container.
How do you start to even? Where do you buy your costumes from?
Well, I've got a dressmaker. He's fabulous, called Kevin Hine. He does all my costumes for me. And then I've got a wig maker, David Morrell, who does all my wigs for me. So I just, when I've got a concept or an idea, I just send it to them, and then they do their thing.
Come up. And what about costumes? How do you come up with your ideas then?
Well, it depends. If it's for the show, then say I'm doing, I don't know, a Dolly Parton number. So obviously Dolly Parton's got a certain look, so that's what we go with. But if it's like a hosting or a DJing dress, I've kind of got I think I've got a style. I either have a leotard to make it easy to work, or it's always a long trailing evening gown kind of a style that I go for.
Yes,
so.
I've seen those pictures there.
Yeah.
Wonderful gowns. So it's like
until somebody stamps on it, and then you just have to like deck them.
Well, because what sort of price are we talking about?
They are quite expensive. I think a gown is like about 300, and then a wig is like 125. Something like
they're
that.
not cheap. They're
not cheap.
They're
no,
not.
no.
But do they last a while? Is that?
The quality is amazing.
And is that the ones? Now there's 2 types of wigs. There's the one that you sort of with the sort of skull cap that you pull on, but the drag queens have this netting.
Yes. So there's 2 types. Once again, I don't know what the professional words are for these sort of wigs, so don't quote me. One of them, I do call it like a shake and go. Right. So basically, you shake it, brush it, put it on your head. That's fine. And the other one is a lace front. That's the one that you have to glue down, and then it looks like the roots are coming out from your head.
So you actually glue that with?
Yes, you glue it down with spirit gum.
Spirit
gum,
And it gives you that realistic look.
I
see, right. Okay.
Have you ever seen one of those before?
I've seen, and I've been tempted to buy it. It just looks a bit complicated, and
No, it's quite easy. As long as a lot of people tend to glue it all the way around the head, and up the forehead. But if it's a new one, if you just glue the sideburns bit down, then a couple of dabs of glue, and then it kind of stays on. Yeah.
Now a lot of the RuPaul drag queens, they're full on with the whole head. Now, because I saw a picture, and she gaffer taped head to put, I think, pulls the forehead up to give more arch. Do you do anything?
No, I don't need to do that yet. It just kind of pulls your eyes back and your forehead back, just to make you look younger and fresher, kind of a thing.
Because there's few then get into Botox and stuff like that. Would you ever go down that route? Or
you know what? I probably would. No, I'm not against surgery or anything. Like anything that improves your looks, I'm not against that. If it makes me look better, like I'm doing it.
But this is the new drag queen scene, isn't it? That this is the perfection they want to get to.
Plastic is all the rage nowadays, isn't it?
They've been going for it. So you do obviously lots. Where do you gig at the moment? So all at Manchester and
I kind of do like private gigs if somebody books me, and then my residencies are the New Union and Club Bloom. So that's the 2 venues that I work in most of the time.
And with the sort of gigs you've been, you must have had. Have you had some sort of? You've obviously had great times, but what sort of terrible? Because I do character comedy, and sometimes you just have to write it off. It's a bad one. Have you had a few shows?
I've had quite a few bad shows. I think the worst one that comes to mind is I I did a gig in this town, and I can't even remember what town it was. Anyway, so it was another Queen's gig, but she hated it, so she didn't want to go back. So she asked me if I'd cover. So I was like, yeah, of course I'd cover. I'll go over. Turned up at the gig, and the guy was just so rude,
right?
And his sound system wouldn't work. So they told me that all I need is my laptop. I could plug it into the sound system. They didn't have a sound system, so all I've got is a laptop with no music.
No.
So then he was annoyed with me that I didn't bring my sound system with me, and I was just like, well, I didn't know. Anyway, and then there was this awful guy who was trying to heckle me, so I had to put him in his place. But that was his best mate, owner's best mate, so he was still pissed off with me.
What did you say to him? Can you remember?
I think I said something. I think he was heckling me, and I said something like, you need to shut the fuck up because my heels are bigger than your dick. Something like that. And he just kept him mouthing off, and then the owner wanted me to do a lap dance for a birthday boy, and I was like, this is not what you I don't think you're paying me for this. This is a sex show, and I'm a drag queen.
This is
I don't think he realised what my job was.
So there you go. So was it a gay venue or a straight venue?
No, it was a straight venue. It was a straight venue.
Do you get a lot of straight sort of audiences or booking you?
Oh yeah. I prefer the straight crowd, to be honest with you, because they're more up for a laugh and.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot. The problem with the gays is, I love my gays, but the problem with the gays is they're so used to seeing it.
They've seen it all before.
They've seen it all, but there's nothing you could do that's going to shock them or anything like that. So they're kind of used to it. Whereas the straight crowd, they're more. Like they might go out once a month or something like that, but the gays are out every other night. So, so the straight crowd's definitely.
And do you get a lot of attention from women that will want to know? And then what about guys? And have you got any stories of like any guys sheepishly sort of coming up? Because there's probably an internal, I want to dress up as well, or something like that.
Yeah, most of the times it's guys that do want to hit on you. Well, if we're talking about that sort of side of it,
I meant dressing up as in they want to, because that's a massive British tradition, isn't it? This cross-dressing and
definitely.
But really, so it's guys.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has ever come over to me. I might be wrong. That's what is curious about dressing up, so they want to ask me questions. It's because I'm always working, so I can't sit there and give them a full 411 on how you dress up. Most of the time, it's if they're with the lads, they'll try and sneak their number in or something like that.
And they will probably be heterosexual guys.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't hang around to ask them what the deal is.
That's because that's quite a bit of. I just think there must be. There's other, especially when I've been down Canal Street, and guys get curious or you get stared at. I understand how women feel, because you do you find that a lot, that if you're in a straight environment, there's just that sort of gawping because they've never seen it before. It's
not even straight. I kind of get that anyway because I'm in drag. So I'm kind of used to that. The guys, the girls, the gays, straight, it doesn't matter. They're always... People do tend to stare, but I am wearing something flamboyant, so you can't expect them. You can't expect
it's part of
it's part of the job and what I do.
And with and so a lot of straight, you get booked for a lot of straight venues and stuff. So with all of those, what's your sort of best performance do you think you've been proud of? Do you think that's the one where, or you like that every night basically, or the
best performance? Oh God, I can't. I don't know what my best performance is. In general, I like ladies' nights.
Yeah.
They're the best ones to perform to. So like I do like Dream Boys and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So when there's a stripper on,
and what are they? Can they get quite?
Yeah, they're the best kind of thing. Because every time I've done a ladies' night where there's a stripper on, obviously the stripper's the main act, and I'm only there to host and bring them on stage, and then I'll do my show. But every time I've done a ladies' night, they've always come over to me and said, you were better than the strippers. I would rather have just watched you than the
Really?
strippers.
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
But I do comedy sort of stuff. So whereas the strippers, once you've seen what they've got on offer, that's it.
That's because they're paying for
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
more.
yeah.
That's all the sort of the full Monty thing. They want it off,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Okay, so they like and you do comedy in your show. So what sort of, where would you say you and by the way, she's here today trooping through a bit of a cold.
Yeah,
So I'd just like to get that on the podcast. So
I'm dying of a
she's
cold.
dying here, so it's like, so your comedy, so what sort of, where do you think your inspirations come from for lines, or you just pick it up?
Well, my comedy is like, I kind of try and laugh at myself more, so I do a lot of Asian jokes, I do a lot of drag jokes, I do a lot of gay jokes, like a lot of race jokes I kind of do, which nowadays is like kind of can be hit and miss because people are so sensitive with race, aren't they?
Yeah, there is that sort of, people take on that personal offence. So do you find you have to regulate your material sometimes?
No, I find that as soon as they know I'm Asian, then they get it.
Yeah.
'Cause if I go into a venue and start doing Asian jokes, because I wear blonde hair and I look like I've got a tan,
right,
people just think I'm a white girl with a tan.
Right.
But if I tell them I'm Asian and then do the jokes from there, then I could get away with doing all the Asian jokes. I could get away with the black jokes. I could get away with the white jokes. Because people just think, she's just having a kind of a laugh. But I always start off by taking piss out of myself. As soon as you take piss out of yourself, everybody else relaxes, and then you could take piss out of everything else.
Yeah, because I think that's a real comedy level, isn't it? So, because and also that's what people are bracing themselves for. Are they going to be funny? And then as soon as you hit them with a few, it's like everybody relaxes, and then you get the room. So, well, that's fantastic. So, and anybody that'd be listening that wanted to say start drag and get into it, any advice about how you would go about, if you go back to when you started?
Oh God, don't fucking do it. No, I would say, that's a really good question. If you're going to start drag, I would say first and foremost, be happy within yourself. And second of all, think about the character that you want to be. If it's just somebody you want to put on stage, think about how you want that character to be, and then take it from there.
Right.
A lot of people say makeup and blah blah blah. That comes second. Like, think about the character, what message you want to send, and I think that.
And when you say character, so whether you're going to be glam or trash,
yeah. So you could be like a Lily Savage, or you could be a Dame Edna, or you could be a RuPaul. They're all different characters, but you could see that that is the character.
And there's also now, and I'm hoping to interview, is females doing drag because there's Creme Fatale, isn't there, in America? I've seen on Instagram, but and I'm hoping to get around. I think she's Venus. I forget the rest of her stage name, but I want to get to. So have you actually gigged with female drag queens?
No, I've never actually gigged with. I know quite a few that have come in and watched the show and stuff like that, but I've never been on the stage with any female drag queens.
Because there's that drag king circuit, which is sort of, I think, for the lesbian community, like to do that.
I've been on stage with quite a few drag kings actually.
And how did that go? Was there
really good actually? It's totally different, and it's different to my style, obviously, because I'm a drag queen, and where they're a drag king. I love it. They're some of the looks that they do, some of them are kind of cute as well. I'm like, what?
And do they? I take it they do padding as well. If we have fake boobs, they've got stuff down the trousers.
Yes,
they do all that.
The couple that I've worked with, they had a little sausage in there.
I hope it was frozen. 'Cause you don't want that melting halfway through that. And hopefully I will get to some of those. So where can we see you around? Where are you performing next?
So I do the New Union on a Thursday and Friday, and then I do Club Bloom on a Saturday, and then I'm hoping in a couple of months I'm going to start my own show in the New Union on a Sunday.
Fantastic.
So because I've not done cabaret I've not had a residency in a cabaret setting for ages. So
is that what you'd like? Just to,
definitely. That's where I started, and that's where where the most fun is for me. Yeah, being on stage and doing cabaret.
And doing cabaret, and so that's a mixture of then songs and comedy, and that's what you like. So fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on the show. And
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate it. And as always, my last question would be: who would you recommend that I interview to come on Funny Peculiar?
Oh yeah, there's loads of queens actually. One of my favourites is Misty Chance, but she's in Cyprus at the moment, so that might be a Skype one.
That could be a Skype one.
I like people like Viva La Diva from Bar Pop.
Yeah.
Lee Starr, Roxy Hart. Girl, I could give you loads. And some of the younger ones will be quite good, actually, to see what their opinion of drag is. There's Athena, Elsa, to name a couple.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Roxy, I'll definitely, because I've seen her in New York. She's brilliant.
She's the most glamorous drag queen in Manchester.
But not as glamorous as you. And in fact, I'll probably have to interview your dressmaker, because he sounds like he does lots of different stuff. So we'll get. But listen, thank you very much again, and I will tag you in. We'll get you on Instagram when the episode comes out. So thank you very much again, Blaq Ivory.
Blaq Ivory.
I keep calling her
Blake.
Where's Blake come from? It's a different. It's a conspiracy.
No, everyone does it. Don't worry about it.
Cheers. Thank you.
You've been listening to Funny Peculiar. Tune in next week. More great guests.
That was the wonderful Blaq Ivory. I'm getting a name right there. You can follow her on her Facebook page, which is Blaq Ivory. I'll just spell that out. It's BLAQ and then Ivory. You can get her on there, leave her a message. You can see all her photos, all her clips. So go check it out. Thank you again for listening. With the podcast, you can obviously get it on iTunes, you can get it on most major platforms, Spotify, Google Play, and of course the website www.funnypeculiar.org. So, thank you again for listening, and keep listening to Funny Peculiar.